Today, I want to talk to you about 3 strategies to help you reduce frustrations and maybe stress with those around you. Because when you're less frustrated, you're probably in a better space to enhance relationship, to enhance collaboration, and of course, your productivity is increased. So, the first question that I like to ask myself when I'm frustrated with people around me is to look at myself in the mirror and ask, what is the impact of my own presence right now? So, the strategy here is to recognize that my behavior might have an impact on others. So, the next time you're in a difficult situation, take the time to think about how your behaviors, tone of voice, choice of words, maybe body language, facial expressions, crossed arms, and so on, might affect others. So, my own behaviors might affect other people's behavior, and maybe I'm the cause for their frustration, therefore, my own frustration. But there's a little trap. The little trap here is because nobody has bad intentions, we always think that our own intentions are always perceived as positive. So, for example, the fact that I like to ask questions, like many questions, I'm always thinking, oh, people must appreciate that because I'm so interested, I'm curious, I need to get it before I'm fully engaged. But for colleagues who are not the same style as I am, they're not um, perceiving all these questions as being curious and engaged and so on. They might think that I'm skeptical, they might think that I don't trust them, and so on. So, thinking that my own intentions are always perceived is a trap. And when I'm always thinking that, the risk is that I'm perpetuating misunderstandings. I'm increasing tension with other people that I work with, and I'm ignoring, in fact, the behavior or the impact that my behavior might have on others. So if I don't know what the impact of my presence is right now, I will never be able to adapt and to better connect with others. So the tip here, well, there are 2 tips here. First, seek direct feedback. If you're observing that your impact might have a negative influence on others, just stop and ask, is all the questions that I'm asking right now, are they really irritating you? Are you okay with them? Should I maybe just doze and just ask the basic or most essential questions that I have? So just ask direct feedback. You're observing that your behavior might have a negative impact on others, just do a quick check. Or if not, observe your colleague's reaction, their nonverbal reaction. So instead of asking directly my colleague about all the questions that I'm asking, if I notice that my colleague is getting distant, getting impatient, then I know that I need to maybe ask a little less questions or stick to the essential ones and maybe ask other questions later. So I adjust my approach. The impact of knowing how I'm showing up and the impact of adjusting my approach will reduce misunderstandings and will, of course, improve collaboration and productivity. The second question that I like to ask when I'm frustrated with a situation or with people around me is this one here. Are we on the same page? So the strategy here is to clarify expectations or shared objectives. Take time to clarify your expectations and understand those of your colleague, to identify what you have in common and therefore minimize misunderstandings and assumptions. I'll give you a quick example. I was once asked to review a document by one of my colleagues. Well, for me, when someone asks me to review something, I do a thorough job. I mean, I look at mistakes, grammar, content, ideas, coherence in a text. I really take this job seriously. But my colleague was only asking me to see if there were any little misspells or grammar errors. So you see, review means something for me and it meant something else for my colleague. So just taking a few seconds to really understand what the expectation is, to make sure that we're on the same page, that will help you and others to be less frustrated and into a better uh, collaboration mindset. There's a little trap here as for being on the same page. And I think you get it now. It's assuming that both people or that the people you work with automatically understand what you expect from them. So understanding expectations without clarifying them. Another quick example about that one is, can you get back to the client as quickly as possible? Well, as quickly as possible, for someone that could be within an hour. For someone else, that could be within the next 24 hours. So don't fall into that trap, because you will be assuming things, and that will lead to frustrations and a lack of alignment in your work. The tip is to take those few seconds just to validate priorities, to validate expectations, and to adjust based on the information that you received. The impact: better alignment of goals, improved cooperation, less conflict, less stress, less frustration, and so on. The third question that I like to ask when I'm frustrated with a situation or someone is, who should adapt to whom? And that is all about taking a different approach to better collaborate with the people that I work with. So identify their strengths, their preferences, and I'm going to go a little bit further than preferences. What do they need? What are their basic needs? So when you identify strengths and preferences and needs of your colleague's work style, you are then more well equipped to adjust your approach accordingly. So it's up to you to adapt if you need their buy-in, ideas, collaboration. So here's a quick example. I'm someone that is very task-oriented, very focused. I like to work on my computer, and documents are really a good thing for me when I'm brainstorming. But for a colleague that is not as task-oriented, but that is more people-oriented, for that colleague, brainstorming ideas verbally, either in person or in Zoom, works better for them. So if I'm really relying on a colleague that is more people-oriented, then I need to adapt my approach and not ask to collaborate or to brainstorm using a Google Docs, but to brainstorm more socially through Zoom or in presence. So who should adapt to whom is always who needs who. Then that person who needs the other should be the one that is adapting. The little trap about adaptation is this one here. It's about imposing your own work style, assuming that it suits everyone. Not everyone likes to brainstorm through Google Docs. Not everyone likes to hear 25 questions before they get on board with a project. So imposing your own style and assuming that it works with everyone, well, you will lack of synergy. There will be less synergy with you, with your environment, with your colleagues. It will delay projects. It just won't be as effective as you wish. The tip is quite simple. Just take a few minutes, a few seconds even, to discuss how the other one would like to work. So going back to my brainstorming example, so ask your colleague, I need your ideas here. I need to brainstorm on this topic. What would work for you? Google Docs, Zoom, in person, coffee, whatever, but just ask the other person what would work for them. The impact: more effective collaboration, a better complementary